Hi everyone, welcome to the next part of this video series. We are doing this page here from Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford, and the first video just showed how to do the sky. So if you haven't caught up with that one, you can go back to the end and do that. We're not going to be doing anything extra to that. We're actually going to be working on I'm going to start by working on the domes of all of the buildings, and I've decided to do them in gold, or they might look a bit more coppery. Excuse me, because of the selection of colours that I've picked from the Castle Arts Gold set. So I have the walnut brown, the brown ochre, the cinnamon and the terracotta light. I'm actually going to come in a bit closer and so that you can see what I'm doing a little bit more. So let's do that first. Now when I'm doing a lot of areas in the same sort of shades of colour, I tend to work through the pencils one at a time. So what I mean is I'm going to start with the walnut brown, and I'm going to apply the walnut brown to every bit that I'm going to use that for, and then I'm going to go back and do all the next colour and then the next colour, and I find that makes it a lot quicker. Now although we shouldn't be in a race with our colouring, I do find, I'm going to start as I say with this walnut brown, I do find that if I spend too long doing something I get a little bit bored, or I sort of get a bit anxious and want to move on to the next bit. So I find if I can find a little bit more of an efficient way to do it, then it just helps me personally. But you can do one at a time. So that's all I'm going to do on this one. The idea is to put down a fairly hard layer near the edge, and then a bit less as you come into the middle. So darker here, a few layers, and then just less layers coming in. And we can do the same on the other side, hopefully it's not too blurred. I did speak to someone at the camera shop about the blurring that I get. I'm going to make this dark brown. I'm just going to make it quite intense. And he told me to turn off a particular function that could be causing it. Unfortunately, I don't have that function turned on anyway, and it's more to do with the fact that I use autofocus and the camera focuses on whatever's near the centre, which is great normally, but when my big clunky hand is there, it then decides that that's what it wants to focus on. If I can keep my hand out of the centre of the picture, that's fine, but if I'm using a pencil that's a bit short and I have to go like that, then it tends to then focus on my hand, as you can see. So it's tricky. I can make it manually focus and then just focus it on the book, but I don't think I've got enough depth of focus that it would then, when I showed you the pencil name, it would then change to focus on that. It wouldn't. So then that would just be blurred all the time. So for me, I feel that it's better for you to be able to see the pencils that I'm putting in front of me and things like that, because for anyone who's not got the sound on, they won't be able to hear they won't know what I'm using because they won't be able to hear me. And I do think a lot of people without the sound on, not just people, also people who can't hear, because I don't put the sound on videos very much at all, because either it disturbs people or it disturbs me. I'm trying to do something else. I read the subtitles. If people don't put subtitles on videos, I rarely watch them. Yeah, it's rare, and I'm probably a bit rare in doing that, to be honest, but I just think that there must be other people. I'm not just the only weird one. But it's just that I always think that it can disturb other people in the household and that sort of thing, you know, so I don't put the sound on. So I just think of that too. But and of course people, as I say, who can't hear, although there's subtitles, I always have it set so that it auto-generates subtitles. They're not always correct. I'm quite lucky in that I don't have a strong regional accent or anything like that, so that means that the subtitles are a little bit better. more accurate, should we say, because it can recognise what I'm saying. I do have a bit of an accent, obviously. But with some people, I know Johanna Basford, for example, with her Scottish, adorable, sorry you couldn't see that one, adorable Scottish accent, she says it makes so many mistakes that she just turns it off. I think it might be that someone has said something to her about it, I'm not really sure. But she doesn't put it on. And I will be listening to her. I do listen to her videos, I have to say. She's important. She's our queen, our leader. We have to listen to her. It is actually, today recording this is actually, see I don't do a bit on that flat roof? No, I think we're just doing domes. Yes, she's doing her flip through today of her new book, which you would have all already seen, and I was talking about actually in a previous video. I was getting quite, well, I'm excited, understandably so. Now, to make this match with the bottom half of the picture, which is the leaves, I am going to make some of the leaves gold as well. Now I feel like I should be tying up the top and bottom a little bit. So these plainer small flat leaves, I'm going to make these gold. I'm just trying to decide quite how and where. I think I will do it this way. So a bit of dark there and a bit of dark here. That's how I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do all of these the same way. I might not go up and down, back and forth in the same way, but I need to remember how I've made this gold colour and make sure that I do it the same, you see, because I want them to look linked. Oh, there's one over here. Can't see. There we go. There he is. There we go. It's very nice to be able to be making videos again, I have to say. I didn't feel like I had a rest from it in the sense. I mean, I don't need a rest from it in that way anyway. But, you know, I got comments from people going, don't worry about it, take it easy, relax a bit and blah, blah, blah. But I was worrying about it. What am I going to do? How am I going to fix the camera? Am I going to have to send it off to be repaired? Does it mean I'm going to be out of action for months? And all that. So that was going through my head. And so I wasn't able to really relax and wind down. This is brown ochre. And I really didn't do anything much. I just sort of, I don't know whether it's typical, but, you know, I just sort of flapped about and worried and didn't do much. But anyway, actually, if you're thinking about it, I do tend to do that a lot. Not worrying, but not doing much. It feels like that this morning. Like this morning, I thought, right, husband's going to work today and he leaves the house at about 9 o'clock. So what I'll do is I'll get up and I'll get up early with him, make his lunchbox and have breakfast. And then in between the time that he's getting ready for work and I can't record because I don't record until he leaves, I'll do some reading of my psychology book, which I've been enjoying reading, social psychology. But no, I spent the whole time before he left for work looking at acrylic wall panels for our new bathroom because the ones we were going to get, they're no longer being supplied. So I was having a look at that, chatting to everyone about that, and then 9 o'clock comes, he leaves, and then I've remembered I've got to go and make a phone call. I make this phone call, I'm on hold for 20 minutes waiting. Think, oh, okay, I'll go and make a video. Nope, my mum rings, chat to her, was lovely. I was hoping to talk to her today anyway, so that, you know, it was just not the time I was expecting to talk to her, but it didn't matter at all. Had a nice chat with her. And then I had to phone husband back to report back to him what I'd found out after having made a phone call for him. I've got a line here, can you see it? Now that, I thought it was coming in from the other side. It's not, it is a flaw in the paper. I'm trying to cover it, but that looks a bit naff. There's a bit there as well. I'll wait till I put the next colour on and see whether we can do something about that. Anyway, so speaking to her, and then I came and made the first part of this video, so did the sky. And then I remembered that I'd wanted to watch Prime Minister's Questions because it's the first one since we've got our new Prime Minister, so I thought that'd be quite interesting. So I watched that and I was very impressed with how civilised it seemed to be. I got the impression that there was some ruckus going on out of camera shot somewhere, but anyway, it was interesting. Watched that and had lunch, and now I'm back to doing this. So it feels like, it's like, where's the day gone? You know, I haven't even been out. I planned on not going out today because I've got a little bit of a sore heel from my boots rubbed my feet. Where will we go? Oh, we went for a walk on Sunday. That's right. And we weren't that long, but anyway, my boots rubbed my feet. I think my socks got wearing through on the heel. So yes. Anyway, I've got some others. They're in the wash. So I thought I'm going to stay in today and just give my feet a bit of recovery time. So I'm not going out. But yeah, everything seems to take so long. I have sometimes think, wow, if I lived on my own, I could just get everything done really quickly. But I don't know. Does it work like that? I mean, you know, because you sort of think, well, I'm doing things for other people and I'm sort of cleaning up after them and everything. But on the other hand, they do help me. So I don't know. I don't know. But still, I wouldn't want to do that. I think I have lived on my own once just for a little while. I found it quite tricky, in the sense that, right, cinnamon. I'm going to go back the other way now. In the sense that I was on my own. I had to do. I was used to sort of cooking for myself. I lived with a couple of other people and we all cooked on our own, so that was okay. But you know, not having anyone there was a bit weird. But anyway, I didn't really like it, I have to say. I think I could cope with it better, much better now. I have been on my own a few times when husband's been off and about. This one looks really weird. I don't know why. The way, I think I haven't put enough of the dark colour there. But anyway, that's okay. I think they're going to be a really interesting colour. I didn't try this out beforehand, you know, I just grabbed the colours and thought, oh, they'll do. You know how you do. And then you video it and show it to the nation and just hope it works. The nation. Yes, the whole nation is watching. I'm sure they are not. Anyway, it was, yes, I've been doing this and that. And it doesn't feel like I've achieved very much. Although, when I was on the phone to my mum, I was colouring and I finished that picture, did a whole picture. It was from Hannah Carlson's Space book. I was talking about it actually before I start on the other video to this. So it was quite... Let's make sure we can see that high one. Oh, it didn't fit in that circle or that one, hang on. The walnut brown I did for the... Sorry, my hand's going to blur it. These little tiny circles all in the walnut brown. Yeah, I don't know why I missed those few, but anyway. They're done now. Yeah, I have to say, what's interesting is with the Castle Gold now, I have to be clear that I was sent these by Castle as a gift. Now, someone sent me this 72 set, I think it's 72, yeah, as a gift. And I sort of tried them out and thought, I'm not sure what the fuss is about. Why are they so expensive compared to the Soft Touch? I don't know how the prices compare now, by the way, because they changed their prices quite a bit, Castle. I wasn't sure. I thought, you know, and in the 72 set, the colours, there aren't many. There's no reds. Really, maybe one. It's one red. I don't know. I wasn't very taken with them, but the 120 set, weirdly, I really like. because I think there are definitely colours go over everything with this one, but we want to leave a gap in the middle so that we can make it look like it's shiny, just a little one like that. And look how it brings it all together. And we've got, it doesn't look gold, but I think it looks quite sort of coppery, I hope so. That still looks too, I'm going to put a few lines across that so it, there. So yeah, it might just be that I've become more sophisticated in my colouring maybe, or my taste has changed a little bit, I don't know, but I'm much preferring the 120 set. So as I say, it could just be the range of colour. Oh, we didn't do the cinnamon on the leaves, did we? We'll finish those off in a bit. But yeah, I'm really happy with them, so that's good. But as I say, they were sent to me for free by Castle. When did they send me those? Oh, when they sent me a colouring book, they said something about sending me pencils, and I said, well, I've got most of them apart from this set, and I wasn't expecting them to send me, because it's like the most expensive set, and they sent them to me, which was very kind of them. I haven't done any pictures from their butterfly book apart from the very first one, but anyway, maybe I should at some point. But to tell you about my Castle deal, as it were, if you now I'm not entirely sure, I have a code in the description for these pencils. Now if you follow that link, whatever you buy from Castle, there's the potential that you might get 20% off. I think, now I was looking at the terms and conditions of this and I was a little bit confused. It looked like that anyone in the UK would always get 20% off, but if you're in America it was a one-use only code. Now that seems very odd to me, why they would do it differently across the two countries, so I think somewhere there's a mistake and it isn't clearly set out, and I suspect it might be a one-use for everyone. Now this is buying directly from their own website as opposed to from Amazon. Now I realise some of you have to wait for things to come onto Amazon because they don't deliver to where you live, and that's a shame. But there's, you know, do complain to them and see if they'll change their mind. But yeah, and moving across. So for the Harmonious set, which is still only exclusive to their website, a lot of you I know used my affiliate link, and I very much appreciated it, because as well as you getting 20% off if you were lucky enough to with that code, I also got 5% commission. It just shows how much profit they make, doesn't it? As I always say, if you're looking for something by Castle, do have a look and see if you can find it in a sale. Because they have, a lot of sales, and so often things are reduced. I've noticed that there seem to be certain things that are always reduced and then certain things that aren't so much, but it seems to be some of their paints that tend to be reduced more. I don't know what their paints are like. I did buy their gel pens once for £10, in that they were reduced in a sale. I had a voucher. I've actually got a voucher at the moment, but I don't think there's much that I want. So we're going to have to use the cinnamon on these first, because I forgot. Yes. So I think as a budget supplier of pencils, they are very good. I'm now going to the terracotta light. But if you want something really amazing, then you're gonna have to pay for it. I think that's usually the way with most things, isn't it? You know, they're not as good as Prismas, they're not as good as Polys, but for the money, as long as you get them in a sale, they're pretty good. So back to cinnamon. So yeah, I have used lots of budget brands, and yeah, I think they're okay. You can blend them, which is, well, layer them. I'm sort of layering them, I'm not blending them, but you know, that's really important to me. I wouldn't want a pencil that didn't mix very well with others. Sorry, terracotta light. It makes a big difference as terracotta, doesn't it? This definitely looks a lot more bronzy than this. If you want to keep this bronze look, use an almond maybe instead, or even green gold maybe. I purposely avoided using the green gold because it's actually got a shiny pigment in it, as has the one of the greys. I'm not sure which one it is. It's that one. The blue grey maybe? No, maybe I'm wrong. No, it's the graphite. Sorry. They've actually got a metallic pigment in them, so they actually look properly shiny. So I didn't want that, so I avoided using it this time. But now people often ask me things like, oh, can you use this pencil with this pencil? Does this one work with this one? Like, you know, you might say, oh, do these castle arts work together with the other castle arts? Always, I have never found two sets of pencils that don't work together. So yes, I'm sure they will be fine. Here is the terracotta light. Sorry, we're all on a slant, aren't we? Now we're going to have a look at the time and see what to do next. Right, I have, whoop, that was a bit fast, sorry, I'm going to come out and show you the whole thing. Just so you can see, I think the coppery colour goes quite well with the purple. My son wouldn't agree, but anyway. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this terracotta light for all the windows. I'm just going to find my sharpener, give it a sharpen first, because I think that will, I think it'll work basically. I want them to look like the lights are on because it's night time. It's obviously dark, so I'm just blocking them in. There's nothing too fancy about this. It's just a nice intense layer to look nice and warm and shiny. So I haven't bothered to zoom back in for this. I am, however, thinking about the building's colour, because earlier, before I had my lunch, I decided what I was going to do, and now I've come back. I've got absolutely no idea what my thought was. I don't know. I'm just looking. I've just distracted myself now, and I'm looking. No idea. Okay. I notice. Do you think these are window? I'm going to do these as big long windows. So this isn't exactly a complete yellow, but I find the name terracotta light a bit weird. I don't think it's terracotta-y, but that's okay. I don't really get myself too worried about names of colours. They vary a lot. It's no good thinking, I know what an ultramarine looks like. You probably do, but then when you look at a certain set of pencils, they'll have an ultramarine and it won't be what you're expecting. I need to brush this. I need to remember that these are quite crummy, should we say. They leave a lot of debris behind, and then as I move across the page I spread it. So I should be a bit more careful really. Now on some of these buildings we've got sort of patterns and I've ignored them. What you can do is, if you want them to look like they are standing out, you can go underneath them a little bit with some of the walnut. Sorry, my battery went dead, and I coloured a few more windows before I noticed. I should have noticed. I heard my camera turn off, I just carry on colouring. Sorry. But anyway, it doesn't take too long to change the battery. It's just a bit of a nuisance. It's what's wrong with my camera. Having a battery charger to externally charge it is a workaround, but it means that I have to keep changing the batteries, which before, when I had the power lead in, it just worked, but unfortunately the power lead socket is what is broken. Right, what should we do next? Well, buildings. Now I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to do those big arches actually. I still talk about my thoughts. We have got the leaves at the bottom. You know how I toned in the gold ones thinking they would tone in with the roofs? Well, I'm thinking we need to do the same thing with all of it. So if I'm going to be doing green leaves, does that mean I need to do green buildings? I'm not entirely sure that I like the idea of green buildings, to be honest. So what I might do is use a couple of colours for the buildings. Oh, I missed these as well. And use them for maybe these smaller leaves or even the flowers, and then put some green in there as well, which isn't here, because I'm not going to put this purple down here, so there'll be a bit of some things that are continued down and some things that aren't, sort of thing. And I've also got to think about, they've got a background down here, so I've got to think about that as well, and this line, whether I do something with that. Of course, we've got some green in this picture from these tiny little plants, so we can do something with that as well. So buildings wise, well, what am I thinking? Well, let's have a look at our swatch chart. Now, I'm certainly thinking I don't want orange, I don't want green, yellow. We've got these sort of corally colours, but I don't think it's going to work with our dome. Blue might work really well, so I'm thinking maybe blue. I like these buildings in blue. I've done blue ones before, but not these blues. I'm thinking maybe more a sort of dark, more regal blue, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking maybe the cobalt blue deep with the indigo light. That's where I'm going. So let's grab those if I can find them. Indigo light, and I think it's this one. No, it's getting there, sorry. Cobalt blue deep. Okay, so the indigo I'm going to use for the sort of, I don't know how to describe it, the lines and things. She's making sense, obviously. Right, let's pull in. We're can't see it all. Is that all of it? Yeah. So I'm thinking like under here, you see there's a line. So I'm going to put that in this indigo blue light. And then we've got this zigzag. So, yeah. So what I'm going to do here is put a light indigo across all of it, and then just darken part of it. And then this darken a bit, but I want it to be lighter, you see. Then we've got a line here. And here. Got a door. Have a think. I think I won't need to do that one. Do I need to do that one? Yes. It's going to look odd if I don't. This one under here. And then the same here is over here. So a lighter touch. And then go over the bottom ones a little bit to make them a bit darker. a line here, here. We've got the whole of this bit here. Isn't the darkest of blues either, you know, it's quite a nice, even it's got indigo light, it's a little bit lighter. I'm thinking I'm going to do a dark bit just on this roof area. It's not really a roof, well, castellations. Here I'm going to leave, I think. Not all of them have got any, have they? No. This one, I'm going to put some here. I'm rather liking these roofs, I have to say. It's a bit of a, bit of a different combination to my usual gold colour. And then this one here. Yeah, I think I'll do here and here. And again on this pattern, I'm just going to do it lightly. You see, when I do it lightly, I hold the pencil a bit further up. Hold it there instead of there, and I hold it on its side rather than going. And then I'm going to do, how have we done it before? The bottom bit's darker. Go. I just had an email before I came through from Cold Pens saying they've got exclusive rights, I'm assuming in the UK, I don't know, to sell Copic's new markers. Now, I'm not sure about the doors. I think I'm going to leave them until I've done the rest. However, I do know I want to do this bit, which I missed. And they're paint markers, water-based paint markers. I thought, oh, they look good, interesting. I had a look at them. They are £4.50 per marker. Now that might not mean much to you if you're not from the UK, but a Posca pen, which I was sort of thinking they'd be similar to, are £2 something. I think they were almost double, not quite double the price of a Posca. I was thinking, they are going to have to be remarkable. Are we just paying for the brand name? Because Copics are expensive. I thought, oh, I'll try one. And then I looked at the price and I thought, no, I'm all right, actually. Right. I'm actually going to leave that here for today. I think I've done, I'm not even sure because of the battery going flat how much I've done. But I feel like I've done enough for a day. The only thing is I've just noticed this. You can see there's a V and then a little V. I'm going to just colour those little ones in just a tad darker. So they're not as dark as the bottom, but just a little bit darker than the top. Does that make sense? There we go. So I'm going to leave that for today. I'm going to brush it off a bit. It does leave lots of crumbs. I don't think crumbs is the right word. I leave crumbs when I'm eating a biscuit. I often eat biscuits over my way. I eat oat cakes. They're like a, I can't get this straight. They're like a savoury biscuit, and I eat them a lot when I'm colouring because they just leave crumbs and no oil or chocolate or anything. Anyway, that's it for today. I'm liking it, how it's coming along. Yeah, we'll be working on more. We've finished the buildings I expect next time, and I'm not sure about the plant pots and the plants. I'll think about that, and then yes, bring some of these blues down into the flowers as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching, hoping that you have a really super day and happy colouring.